My name is John Rivas. I am 20 years old, and I guess you can say I recently came out this year in February. It's November, and I came out to this guy, and it all ended up where I guess it all started when I was 5, when I knew I was having strange feelings that people were telling me weren't supposed to be there. Um, I guess you can say I felt attractive around that age to boys, but I didn't know what that feeling was. I didn't know if it was something like a phase or whatever. But at 12 years old, I knew for sure that I was gay. Going through puberty and all, and I guess you could say the years passed. I mean, we were homeschooled most of our life, so it was a very conservative environment. Um, my mom, she taught us well. I guess our whole family was, or is still, really religious. And there was a point where I did not even accept the fact that I was gay. Where I was basically homophobic, with myself and with everyone else. I would make sure that I would never give anyone the idea that I was gay, for fear of being told that my mom was a failure or that my parents didn't do a good job in raising me. It was an idea that I had before, and a reason why I didn't want to come out. And during that time, around 14, 15, 16, I was always really suicidal. I never accepted myself. I knew deep down that I was gay and that there would be a time that I would be hurting a lot of people. At least I thought I would be. And, you know, I'm pretty glad that I'm still alive because I didn't attempt suicide. I would just think of it most of the time. At least most of the time when people would talk about gay people, I would just shun myself or kind of like make myself feel like I wasn't worthy of being alive. And it was until this year, you know, after going through a life of, you know, homophobia, um, I actually joined choir. And with choir, I mean, something was different about it. I don't know. The people accepted everyone for who they were, and I really liked that idea because I felt like I was always different, and I felt that they would accept that as well. And that was also the first time I met Javi. Not the first time I'd seen him because I'd seen him 2 years before on a KCET special for the Christmas special, and I'd known of him through my cousin being part of the Little Rock High School, which was competing with Palmdale at one point. And when I first saw him, I guess you could say he was in the cafeteria. I guess that's what caught my interest. That because I knew he was there and he was gay, that maybe I would be accepted as well. So I decided to join the spring of the next year after that. And when I did, it was a couple of weeks, probably a month or two to the semester, that I began to feel more comfortable with myself. And it was also at that time that I went to a religious retreat with my brother. He was thinking of, or I guess he was starting to think of joining the seminary for the legionaries. And I went with him to support him, but in that I had my own experience where, because the whole talk of the retreat was based off of God loving you for who you are and Him making you for the reason that He did, and that if He didn't want you to be the way you are, that you would have never existed, and that He's holding you in this point in time, in the past, in the future, in His existence in a sense, like He's in control of it. And, I really caught up with the idea and I really accepted it, and it was that point, when we came out of that retreat, that I started, I guess you can say, planning or being more confident in, or less scared about the consequences in coming out. Regardless of my family, regardless of everyone else, because I felt it was almost wrong or more wrong to, I guess, lie to myself than to lie to my family. And that was the point of accepting myself, and then from there it went on to where I got Javi's number. And I kind of done it secretly so that no one would have any suspicions that I just wanted to have his number so I can talk to him. Someone to, I guess, find support in. And when that happened, the first few things I texted him, I guess, were pretty funny. We got along, and I told him I was gay. He didn't believe it because I guess I totally flipped everyone off of the gaydar. And after coming out to him, I also told him I had feelings for him, that I've always had feelings for him. For men, then, I guess you could say, it was a point where I wanted to live with him. I just wanted to live my life and share my life with Javi. And a few weeks later, they had problems, with family and coming out. And the first person I told after Javi was my brother Paul, and then I guess my dad and family and so forth. But the last person I did not want to come out to for fear of hurting her was my mom. I really care about my mom, and because of her homeschooling us, aside from all of all of her sisters, my aunts, I guess not liking the idea of us being homeschooled, she did it for the intention of preserving what she felt wouldn't be there if we were in public school. And that's what I didn't want. I didn't want them to tell her that she was a failure because I came out gay. Because in my heart I know that I was born this way, and that it was in no way my childhood that made me this way. And so it was probably when I went with Paul for the first time to go to the seminary he was planning to go to. It was an Easter retreat, and from going to the retreat, I told a priest there. I told a seminarian that I was gay and that my mom didn't know. And he gave me a few numbers, and something that I didn't like, but that's besides the point. He told my mom, or he told me to make sure that my mom knows, and that when I'm comfortable enough to do it as soon as I can, so that there would be no, I guess you can say, she wouldn't feel like I didn't tell her because I didn't want to, as opposed to not telling her because I didn't want her to feel hurt. And so the day, or 2 days after I came back from the Easter retreat, which was about a week, I told my mom. It was one day when no one was at the house, and I was just there sitting on her bed, laying down. She was lying down too, I guess resting. And I just told her, I was like, I wanted to tell you about something I've been wanting to tell you for a long time. And she was like, what do you mean? And, it just went on with the conversation. I tried to prolong it because I was really scared of how I would come out. And I finally told her how I've always had different feelings. How I've never had an attraction to women. And from then on, she said how, well, it's just a phase or something, like your dad, he's been through that too. And I was like, no, it's not like that. I'm attracted to men, And from then on, it came to this whole discussion of basically my whole life story of feeling shunned and suicidal. And it basically came out to be where she accepted me for who I am and how she loves me for everything that I guess, lived through. And, she didn't know about Javi at that point in time. But eventually, I think things came around when Paul left. She kind of needed Paul's support with me as well, and that's when she started meeting Javi. He'd come over to the house and help her with gardening. That relationship became close, but that's not my story to tell, so that is my coming out story.